he was given a much larger share.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salam Radio.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the show, The Real Me. I'm Abbas, and joined with me today is the co-host of the show, Michelle. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
I must say, that's a good entrance. The echoes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. How are we doing? Is that okay?
Is that better? Yeah, I think that's better.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not, I liked it though.
It was, yeah. It was okay. It's okay.
I've never had, I think we need to play around with the system, yeah. Sorry about that. Just a bit of, let's say, technical difficulty. Just the echo was on. It's tempting me to recite though, isn't it? Is that why you put the echo on, to make me recite, Michelle?
Okay.
Is that right?
How's that?
Yeah. I was just saying that you were tempting me to recite, because we just finished the lovely Nath show just with our brothers just before this, and I was going to, give you a bit of my Nath, but maybe another time. But inshallah, if you want to hear me recite something, why don't you give us a text? That'll get you guys texting in.
Yes, that will, definitely, inshallah.
But today's topic, really nice that credit goes to Michelle for doing most of the preparation for today's topic, is we're going to be talking about respect for the elderly, respect for our family, the communication between parents and children, and also our how that affects our lifestyle, and also respecting the community members. So if you'd like to give us a call, which I doubt a lot of you shy listeners will be able to do, but if you have the guts, I dare you. Give us a call in, give us your opinion or feedback or any questions on 01733 602 133, or if you don't want to, give us a text or WhatsApp on 07745 278 978. If you're watching on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, you can see the numbers on there. Give us a text or even a WhatsApp message with any feedback. If you agree, don't agree, I won't do any naming and shaming, so I won't say your names out or anything. So, Michelle, you prepared some really nice questions as well, because I said to you, Michelle, you know what, help me out today. Prepare some questions. I want to see, most of it is our work that we do together, but I wanted to just put you on the spot. Thank you. Mashallah, you had some really good questions. I got a bit stuck in them. If anyone wants to, differ with my opinion or our opinion, or give any feedback, maybe we should keep it controversial, get a bit of a stir on the radio, so people can actually say, I don't agree with you, and I want to hear that. I
love that, actually, because how amazing is that we've all got different opinions, and it's not about challenging each other with those opinions, but it's about learning from each other, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
And seeing things from different perspectives. So.
Well, I want to be challenged, though.
I'll challenge you today.
Yeah. No, I want to hear it from the callers. So you sent me this really nice quote, and it left me reflecting. Mm-hmm. It's from Surah 17, ayah 23 to 24. So I'm just going to read it out. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It says, "Your Lord has commanded that you worship none but Him, and that you be kind to your parents if one or both of them reach old age with you. Do not say to them a word of disrespect or scold them, but say a generous word to them, and act humbly to them in mercy, and say, 'My Lord, have mercy on them, since they cared for me when I was small.'" That's really beautiful. It gives us a light on what our parents done for us. This is the Real Me show, so I'm going to be talking about a few things that we really actually think about. A lot of emphasis from Holy Prophet in the Quran and our teachings in Islam as well, especially when we go to schooling, madrasa, for respect on our parents and elderly. But obviously, with time and scenarios, we have a lot of challenges with that, and we're going to discuss those challenges. And that's why I think it's important for anyone who's listening, even if it's one of you out there or 10 of you, give us a text, give a WhatsApp message, let us know what you think. The first question I want to touch upon is really nice. and something to be addressed. Really nice to talk about. So the common phrase is respect your elders, but should that be followed literally in any case?
Yeah. Because we've all had that thought, right?
Yeah.
We must have done. Because we all know deep within that, you know, there's a certain respect that we have for our parents, especially.
Yeah.
But how many times have we been in that position where we're like,
Yeah.
you know, doing those noises?
Yeah.
And actually, I did write something down that, where is that? I'll just have a look, because it says from the Quran, I think, never even say uff
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
our parents.
Exactly.
You know, and that's so specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
Specific guidance. But yeah, I thought, you know, should we follow this literally to the letter, that we must always have that respect, or is it okay for us to falter? Is it okay for us to have these thoughts, you know? So yeah, what do you think?
Never mind thoughts. I think some people actually, it's difficult because some people actually do actually say off. And it's difficult because obviously within children and parents, you get that relationship where every child and every parent has a different relationship, but you will end up saying off, and some people may even go a step or 10 steps further. It might even, you know. I think it's a responsibility of both parents and children, because, you know, differences of opinion happen. Respect should be there. And I think that understanding is very important. So I think for the parents, I would say try and understand your children. Go be easy on them. You know, I'm going to say this. I don't know if he'll be happy about it, but brother Zahid Akbar, he was hosting this show. So I know him because he's a teacher at the secondary school that my younger sister went to. So I said to him, I know you because you're a teacher at St. John Fisher, and my sister went to the school. And I remember when I was dropping her, this was going about 3 years ago, when I was dropping her to school, or dropping her to school in the morning. I was going back home and coming towards me with brother Zaid Akbar on his bike. And I said to my sister, I recognize him. Who is he? He goes, she goes to me, that's Mr. Akbar. I said, oh, okay. I think he's a science teacher. I said, oh, what's he like, you know? He goes, yeah. She goes, yeah, he's all right. Like, he's a good teacher. I said, okay. So why? He goes, he's quite cool, you know. I mean, teachers, you know.
Yeah, they don't normally get that reputation.
You don't normally get cool teachers. But she was like, yeah, I think he's quite cool. I think, you know, I think because of their, you know, the teachers, I can imagine, you know, a shout out to brother Zaid Akbar for being the character he is. I think he would surprise kids saying, wait a minute, our teachers are supposed to be that cool. You know what I mean? They're quite cool and funny, and they laugh and joke, and you know, you always want to look at the teacher in that way. And I think that's the connection that you get with your parents as well, you know. One question I think I would pose out there for those listening out there: do one thing after the show. Ask your parents what their life was like, or what their fashion sense was when they were younger. You would be surprised. These parents come out with, they were funky, man. They had long hair, you know, with the dads, yeah. They had long hair, and they kept this Mexican mustache and the goatee, and with the flares, and you know, for those parents in the 1970s, yeah, 1960s, 70s. So yeah, I've been talking to my parents about that, and I was like, whoa, Dad, seriously. Yeah. Were you really
I think it's
really
a massive
dressing
surprise,
that way?
Isn't it, when we see that you know, these elders and parents that we've kind of grown up with actually had a life prior to us.
Exactly.
You know, and they did cool things sometimes.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you know? Yeah, definitely.
And they had their own personalities and their own thoughts, and yeah.
You know who should ask? Your parents' friends who grew up with them. Then as soon as you ask them, they're like, oh yeah, your dad, your mum. Oh yeah.
I have some stories to tell. Yeah.
There's some young guys at the mosque. When I see their children, I said, mashallah, you know, your kids are, you know, well behaved. He goes, Abbas, I was naughty when I was young. I said, really? I can't imagine you. He goes, yeah, I was naughty. These kids are nothing. I was naughty when I was younger. You know, you should ask my uncles. And I was like, wow, there is a connection between parents and children. And I really believe in that. You know, inshallah, I pray that, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can help all the parents and children in these stages. Children, when they're growing up, when they go through different stages and phases, I think at sometimes parents need to play the parent role and just say, you know what, be firm, put your foot down, tell them this is what I want you to do, this is what I need you to do, so and so. And then there comes that time where I think parents already know this. They'll come out and they're a bit chilled out, you know, especially when they play, you know, watching a football game or they're doing something or they go out shopping. And some parents, you know what, I saw one of the uncles coming to the mosque last week. If he's listening, if he's not, I want to tell him to listen to the show because he knows who he is. He must be over 60, early 60s. But I saw him coming to the mosque. He came for a meeting, and he was wearing some nice black jogging bottoms.
Okay.
I don't know if you can call them jogging bottoms, but they're like, you know, that kind of material.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
nice fitting ones, right? Like, you know, the youngsters wear.
Yeah.
And a black hoodie.
Wow.
I said to him, Uncle, you're looking trendy, man.
Trendy.
Yeah, you're looking quite trendy. And it's nice. It really was really encouraging to see him dressed like that because they're allowed to be cool as well. They're allowed to dress like that.
Yeah, and it's hard. I think it's really, really hard for, you know, the older generation to change.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we all like our creature comforts, don't we?
Yeah.
And, you know, they're used to dressing a certain way. They're used to behaving and acting a certain way. Even routines and things, you know, it's all kind of done a certain way.
Yeah.
And when we try to get them to move into our world, shall we say, and be more modern and change, I think it's really difficult for them.
It is.
Yeah.
But there is a middle way because, you know, kids sometimes they think, oh, you know, we're cool and mums and dads don't understand. But really, parents actually do get on with it. They've gone past that stage, so they know how to handle situations like that.
Yeah.
But in regards to respect of parents, you no doubt has to be there. But respect for elders, should that be followed literally in any case? I think there should be a mutual understanding, and respect is that there's an approach that we should have. We should show that akhlaq, we should show that the good morals we have within humanity and within Islam as well. So if an elder does tell you something, there should be the right approach. You'd be surprised how the two different approaches make such a big difference.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say, oh, control your anger and don't say this. And sometimes it comes out, okay? Some people do get angry. Everyone's different. Everyone's got different nature. But I think controlling that way, and rather than emotionally getting angry, I think it's important to work smart rather than hard. You know, working hard will then, you're just trying to say to yourself, don't do this and don't do that. Instead, if you try and I think it's upon the elder themselves, in mosques especially, because, you know, a lot of us are mosque goers, or if we're not, we're part of some social circle or family. I found with some elders, when they would say something to me which I don't like, I'll take it out as a joke. You know, it's nice to joke about it.
Yeah.
You know, take it out as a joke or just turn it into a joke, and they would get the message, and they would kind of learn that, you know.
Yeah, it's learning ways of handling the situation, isn't it?
Exactly. It's that's within everyone though, isn't it? Handling different people. I mean, handling people is an art.
Absolutely.
Right? Because some people.
I'm looking like it's from experience, isn't it?
Handling people is an art within itself, and it's difficult people that really test you.
Yeah.
And that's with everyone anyway.
Yeah.
Within family, siblings, work lot, friends. But I want to hear from everyone else. I want to hear what you've got to say. Give us a WhatsApp message. I haven't got anything yet. Any WhatsApp or even a text message, if you can, that'd be quite good.
Yeah, so you can text or WhatsApp in to the studio. It's 07745 278 978, or you can be brave and call the studio direct on 01733 602 133. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, definitely. We would love to hear your opinion. We'd love to hear any kind of question you do have, or anything that you feel that affects you personally. Like I said, you don't have to give your name, but, you know, any kind of feedback would be good. You caught me off guard with the second one. So elders living with you.
Yeah.
That can sometimes be difficult because for those elders, like especially grandparents, when they're living with you, they've been through life living a certain way.
Yes.
They're set to one routine. Yeah, so they will stick to that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Till the end. That's it.
Till the death.
Till death. Exactly. Yeah. So they've got specific ways. Have you, or do you feel anyone in your friendship group or relatives have ever lived with grandparents or parents or old age?
So for me, obviously, from how I've grown up, I guess prior to Islam as well, that doesn't really happen a lot in my culture.
Yeah.
And we'll touch on something a little bit later on that is very prominent, I guess, in the white British culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't kind of have any experience of that growing up. So it was just, you and your parents, and that's how it stayed. Grandparents lived separately or were in nursing homes. So I've not had a lot of experience of that. However, since converting to the faith and making new friends and being in new circles, I see that more often.
Yeah.
And it's very different. It's a very different way of living, I guess. But it's very beautiful as well in many ways, because there's a real sort of feeling of compassion, I think, that comes from the Muslim community that I've noticed. Sometimes you can have 3 generations living in one home, and although that seemed really alien to me, it's really beautiful in a different way, because I think, wow, the patience that you must learn from being in that situation, the kindness and the compassion that you have to have living in that situation. Because as I mentioned, 3 generations all thinking differently, all wanting to do different things, all wanting to watch a different TV program.
Yeah.
For instance.
My God, fighting over the remote. Yeah.
It must be really tricky and really difficult to be in that situation, and I assume very frustrating at times as well. I mean, I don't know what experience you've had personally or your friends, what they experience, but to me it's something that would require a lot of patience. And specific routines. I don't know how it works. I've not experienced it myself. But yeah,
I think it's in that case, on my own personal self, myself and friends, or even cousins, we've lived with grandparents. So alhamdulillah, it's really nice to see the effort that our parents made, and really show that in action. So that's what I've been brought up with.
I'm just thinking as well, being the parent in the middle, because you're dealing with your children on one hand, but also you're dealing with your own parents on the other hand. That must be a really tough situation to be in, because you're the parent in one direction, but you're also the child in
especially
another
when
direction.
the children get to see their parents told off by their grandparents.
Yeah, that must be, I'm
That's
only
really
thinking
like-
about this now, sitting in this chair, but I'm thinking, wow, that's a real... They say, don't they, stuck between a rock and a hard place. That must be that place, because you're not only dealing with your own children and having to manage your own children, but you're actually the child, with your parents there as well. So
exactly.
Yeah,
and also
huge props to our parents for
Sorry?
dealing with that. Huge props to our parents for dealing with that. Yeah,
definitely. Or even you get that case where, when parents tell the children off and the grandparents get involved and say, don't tell the child off. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Go on, grandma, go for it. Get in there.
Thank you for standing up for me. Yeah.
Do you know, I don't know if you agree, but I think, do you think that grandparents that were maybe, let's say, 20 years ago and grandparents now, because my parents are grandparents to my niece and nephew, I can see the difference.
Yeah.
Definitely. And other, nowadays I think I see with other people, even at the mosque or even society, grandparents love their grandchildren.
Yeah.
They will spoil them.
Yes. A bit too much sometimes.
Do you find that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because this is interesting, isn't it? Because we're crossing different boundaries here together, because, it's different cultures and things. But yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly on that. Strict parenting, but then not at all strict grandparenting. It's almost like we've done that job. We didn't like that. Now we're just going to be we're just going to feed your kids chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. They always pick on the chocolate until my sister had to say to my dad, don't give it to them. They've had enough today. Please, just hide it. Please, I'm telling you. My dad's like, no, just let them have it. No, you don't understand. They've had enough. You weren't there when they were having it. So they have to hide it. But
that just shows, I think, as well, from a different perspective, that the pressure that our parents felt to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And it almost feels to me like, because my mum is really guilty of it, and I'm not afraid to name and shame. She'll probably be listening, and hi, mum. But I feel sometimes that she's like, I've done that now. I had my responsibilities, I had my role, and I kind of don't need to do that as much anymore. So now I'm going to enjoy these kids, no matter what they do. If they bounce on the bed, or
it's that guilt trip. That's a very, very nice point that you mentioned. There is a guilt trip, because my parents do the same thing, and my mom especially. That no, I don't. She tells to my sister, and it's nice to see though the different parenting styles and that, because sometimes grandparents will always feel that no, don't scold them too much, or don't tell them too much. So
it's a bit like we used to sit and have dinner at night, and I don't know if you call it tea here, tea or dinner.
I call it dinner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had dinner at night, and my mum would be like, "You've got to sit there and eat your dinner until it's finished," kind of thing. And now she's like, "Don't force the kids to eat their tea. Of course you can have pudding and dessert." And I'm like, this wasn't the same when I was young. I feel like staunch in my view that things should change. I'm like, can I still have pudding?
Imagine the kids don't want the greens, and the grandparents, give it over to me. Just she tells you, go and look over there. The oven's on. Go in the greens. We've got a text come in. Really nice. So someone's written on WhatsApp. Thank you for messaging in. It worked. Great topic. Keep up the good work. I grew up living with my mum's parents, and now my parents live next door, and it's great for the kids to spend a lot of time with the grandparents. I get to see my parents nearly every day. It's great for babysitting too. You learn to tolerate each other, especially when you reflect on how much time and effort parents make. So thank you for that. That's really nice.
That's a beautiful view, actually.
It is, definitely, yeah. Grandparents, they do babysit grandchildren sometimes, and it is nice. My wife had a close relationship with her grandmother. I hope she's listening to it, because when I go home, I'm going to say, "Did you listen to the show?" She's like, "I did, yeah, you mentioned me." But she had a close relationship with her grandmother, and I do feel that it had an effect on the level of maturity, and even myself, when I grew up with my grandmother living with us, it kind of brought me responsibility and the understanding that, look, someone's elderly in the house, helping out, and that level of maturity as well. I mean, we were kids, obviously. We used to, joke and laugh and mess around and everything, but there came a time where, that respect was instilled within us. So yeah, definitely, it's a really nice point that you mentioned about the time and effort that parents go through, and also babysitting parents and grandparents. Parents also help out with your, with grandkids as well. The
because
young
also,
grandparents.
it's tiring, isn't it? I mean, I know, being a mum, that it's hard work for me, being my age and looking after my kids. And it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
So when I think of my parents chipping in and helping, it's not easy for them. They've worked all their life. They're tired. They've got their own pressures, their own things that they're doing as well.
Yeah.
So I think we forget that sometimes. We're coming from a society that expects so much.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of expectations that children put on their parents. You should help me. You should babysit. You should do this. And actually, it's kind of like, no.
It is, yeah. I'm not going to do it. I've done my time.
Your responsibility.
It's like being in jail, isn't it? It's like, I've done my time. I've done. That's it. Yeah.
Like, hand them over.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going out with my friends now.
Yeah, and it's lovely to have that. I mean, my parents live so far away. It's like a 3-hour drive minimum. So I really appreciate them.
Yeah.
When I do see them, because I think, wow, it does make me think that I've expected too much in the past. I think we all do.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to do that. So
yeah,
it should be appreciated, and definitely understand things from their point of view, and see that it's maybe not that easy to look after young children anymore, especially when times have changed and the same games don't apply anymore, the same kind of nursery rhymes do and things like that, but a lot has changed.
Yes.
And children don't want to do the same things that we did when we were kids sometimes.
So you're saying that the grandparents should now just buy an iPhone, just stick it to the grandchildren?
Wow, this is the way we're going.
That's the way, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Even when they're eating as well, right? When they're eating before they need to sleep, and Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Don't worry, parents, we're not gonna slate you. But you know,
we're going to give a balanced
Yeah,
view.
we're gonna give a balance, inshallah.
I'm just having a look at Facebook. We've got quite a few watchers actually. So Emma's watching, Brother Rustam's watching, Brother Haq Nawaz is watching, Zainab. Julie's left a comment actually. Julie's back. She says, I think respect has to be earned. What goes around comes around sometimes. No matter how hard you try to be respectful, it's not wanted or appreciated. Some parents and older people can't see past their own outdated views, and that's not acceptable in this day of age.
Wow.
That's really powerful.
That is powerful.
Yeah, comment,
Yes,
isn't it?
definitely.
And there's lots of truth in that, because I think these days we're told that we need to have respect for ourselves and we need to stand up for ourselves. And there's a very fine line between, you know, being kind of challenging people and standing up for ourselves and being disrespectful.
Exactly.
It's like where does the line stop?
Where's the line stop? Yeah. We'll come on that, inshallah. We're going to reflect on another WhatsApp message I've got to touch on. Before we go on the break, you've got a shout out to do.
Yes, I have two beautiful children that I need to say hello to and salam. Mustafa and Jemima. I promised that I'd give them a shout out live on the show.
Out. So I hope they're
Assalamu
listening.
alaikum. Hope you guys are well.
That's great, inshallah. We will be going in the break just now, and join us after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
There's a million choices available for dining out in Leeds.
But if you want something special, there's only one name to remember.
Mumtaz Leeds.
Relax in our newly refurbished Riverside restaurant.
Enjoy exquisite home cooking from our brand new menu. Upgrade to the Mumtaz Leeds experience.
And the price? Well, we're better value than ever before.
Mumtaz Leeds, Chadwick Street, Leeds, LS10 1PJ. Call 0113 242 4211.
Free car parking available.
कोई रत्तियां कमीज़ानी लमाना मारे मामा मिठिया में चीज़ानी।
मेरा नाम मुकद्दस है और कोट मेरा घर है, और ये मेरे लिए किसी जन्नत से कम नहीं। हमारे भी कुछ ख्वाब हैं जिनकी ताबीर को हमें पाना है।
आइए इन बच्चों के ताबनाक मुस्तकबिल के लिए अपना हिस्सा डालिए। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात, खैरात और इमदाद कोट को दीजिए।
UK number 0300 123 7774. Website court.org.uk.
Al-Murad Tiles. With over 70 stores nationwide, we are now open in Peterborough. Up to 50% discount offers now on. Largest selection of tiles. Full bathroom suites from only £189. Paint, LED lighting, laminate flooring from only £7.99. Over 1,000 designs of wallpaper in stock. We have everything you need. Come and visit us at 193 Fengate, Peterborough, PE1 5BH, or call us on 01733 34 58 47. Al-Murad Tiles, now open.
Where can you get high quality and low prices? Amar Food Store and Halal Meat in Lincoln Road, Triangle is the place to go. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. Also send money to Pakistan absolutely free. We have all top brands at special offers, offer free customer parking and provide a free local delivery service. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 687 374. High in quality, low in prices.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من سام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. That whoever fasts Ramadan with faith seeking reward, his previous sins will be forgiven for him. Subhanallah.
ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بإحدى ثلاث الثيب الزاني والنفس بالنفس والتارك لدينه المفارق للجماعة.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the show with myself, Abbas, and Michelle. Today we're talking about our relationship and communication with parents and children and the respect for them and the elders of the community. We're going to just quickly go on to there's an announcement which was mentioned in the show before this about the Naat program on Friday. So no, not only the Naat program on Friday, yes, there is going to be a Naat program on Friday, inshallah, after Isha Namaz at Faizan al-Medina Masjid. And also there's going to be an event tomorrow at the cathedral. So all are welcome. Please do, if you can, come at 7 p.m. at Peterborough Cathedral. That'd be great to see you. It will be show good community cohesion, and especially from those representing different mosques. It would be great for you to come and take part. There will be light refreshments at the end. I had to pop that in. That is a bit of a catcher, isn't it? Eye catcher, like, you know, when you say about refreshments.
Yes.
And inshallah, you know, there'll be some good. It's only about an hour and a half long. So I think you finish around 8:30ish, but it'll be some good things presented by the children as well. So if you can come, that would be great. Encouragement and emphasis has been done for this event, inshallah.
All the details for that, by the way, are on the Salam Radio Instagram and Facebook page.
Yeah, brilliant, inshallah. So please do have a look at that, and you'll be able to get more information on that. Before we went on the break, we were discussing the comment that Julie mentioned, which was really nice. So shall I read it again?
You can.
Yeah. So Julie, thanks for making a comment. It's really nice to hear. Let's have a look. I think respect has to be earned. What goes around comes around. Sometimes, no matter whether they're someone's replied to it. 1 second.
She says, I think respect has to be earned. What goes around comes around sometimes. No matter how hard you try to be respectful, it's not wanted or appreciated. Some parents and older people can't see past their own outdated views, and that's not acceptable in this day and age.
Wow. There's a reply to that. Can you see the reply?
I can't at the moment.
There's someone replied, and...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, Brother Star Abdul says, I agree with you. However, I also believe respect for others is a great trait to have. Whether the recipient has earned it or not, or appreciates it or not, shouldn't affect your ability to respect others. Don't let the other person's lack of appreciation affect your ability to give. It's beautiful.
That's lovely.
You can really feel both sides of that, can't you?
Exactly.
You know, both
it's lovely.
opinions are completely...
And I think I agree with both. Respect has to be earned. If you look within with the religion, the Holy Prophet, and if you look within, let's say, for those listeners who don't believe any religion, surely there are people who, individuals that came and lived in this earth who show that respect and moral. Okay, so let's just reflect upon that. I personally would say it's lovely to say that respect should be earned. Because you need to gain that respect, and there is a way of showing that. There is a strategy on which you can use without the other person knowing, as well as what the other guest has also mentioned is really nice. When the lack of appreciation not let it affect you.
Yeah, so basically to keep giving, no matter what situation you're in.
But sometimes it's difficult for others because when they give, they only give one chance.
Yes, yeah.
And you have to respect that. Because if I go and I it's such a hard one, because if I, for example, go somewhere and someone elder to me, who I should show respect to, they are rude to me because they're frustrated, and I'm in that emotional position where I want to be kind, it kind of gets on head on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I really want to be nice, and I think, oh, you know what, I want to be nice today, and that person's got something on their mind, and they let it out on me. Do you know what I mean? It's a big kind of clash, and I think, like they say, in any way, they say, don't ever do things in haste or in anger.
Yes.
Yep. So I think analyzing each scenario, each person is different, and each person's nature is different, and I think handling it according to that person's nature. Some people I know that I've met them for the first time, and some people have said to me, "Oh, I don't like that person," because the first impression.
Yes.
But when we get to know them, you realize that person's not like 100%. You see that they're struggling with something,
Yes.
either because of their health, they get frustrated quickly, or there's something on their mind. Maybe they're mentally suffering. So you can see.
We're meant to make so many excuses for people, though, aren't we? Before we judge them. And my children remind me of this all the time. They're like, "Mummy, have you made your 1,000 excuses as to why that person's doing what they're doing or said what they said?"
That is really difficult, though.
It's such a great reminder in the moment,
definitely.
though. I'm like, no, I haven't.
There's a hadith as well, isn't it, that gives 70 reasons or 70 excuses before you judge that person.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, we don't do that.
No.
We don't even give one. Never mind 70. We don't even give one.
We're so tight, aren't
we? We are a bit tight on that. But it's difficult because it's such a emotion is a topic within itself. Emotion is a big one.
It's a beautiful practice, though. I was in the car the other day, and my children were with me in the car, and I was having an okay day, and this guy cut me up in the road, and I'm human at the end of the day, and I sort of said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And my children said, "Mummy, have you done the excuses?" And I'm like, "Actually, no, I haven't." And they really bring me back down to earth.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's go through them now together, Mummy, in the car, And one of my daughters said, he could be going to the hospital, taking his wife to the hospital, and he's in a rush. I'm like, wow, this is deep.
Definitely.
And then my other daughter was like, that he might not know his way around Peterborough. He might not be from here. So, you need to remember that he's just got in the wrong lane. And I'm like, wow, that's just two reasons, right? And I'm like, imagine if we could find 70 or 1,000 or however many excuses before we judge that person. And if everybody did that, what a wonderful place we would live in.
Yeah.
And there probably is a genuine reason why that person was rushing or why they changed lanes. So,
but that's so beautiful to see from your children. Young kids are really good at doing that.
It's so natural to them, isn't it? It's so organic. Yeah.
But sometimes like there's sometimes like as parents or elders, or even if you're with an uncle or auntie, they're like, "Stop it! Don't tell me what I'm doing." Go, do you know what I mean? You just feel like don't. It's like that, Don't tell me what I should or should not feel. Yeah. But then afterwards you notice that they kind of calm down and they said, "Oh, wait a minute, I think they are right." You know what I mean? But what you mentioned, I mean, for you to even think on the spot and think, "Wow, that could be a reason." It's really nice because you kind of get that from children to say, what if and what if.
Yeah, and they're 7 and 10, and I'm 40 something. I've had a lot more years on this planet than them. But, mashallah, how amazing is that straight away they were like, no, that's not the right way to deal with this situation.
Definitely.
And the thought for me as a parent that they will go to school and experience a similar situation and deal with it in that way is amazing.
Definitely. You know that saying where they say, be around children under the age of 7 and adults or elderly over the age of 70. So basically, when you're with children under the age of 7, you're kind of having fun. And for those who are over 70, you kind of get wisdom from them.
Yes,
So it's really nice to get that mixture. There is another WhatsApp message.
Okay.
It says, hi guys, great topic. I am being a bit controversial, but yes, I totally agree. We should respect our parents and elders, but what if they are wrong? Okay. We can be respectful, but still want to steer them in the right direction, surely, especially when the respect doesn't go both ways. Some families will never see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean you should respect their opinions. That is really, really nice, because I have to say, with all due respect, some parents don't understand. And although you respect and you do love them, sometimes it leads you to kind of behave or do something which kind of helps them learn your perspective. So I don't think it's the right way to say that, you know, children should teach their parents a lesson. I think that's very harsh. They love and respect their parents. You know, parents always have this, I'm doing it for your own good. But it actually comes out to be, I think it's important. Really nice comment. Really, really nice.
I think that's brave to share as well.
Definitely,
and I don't know whether it is controversial. I'm going to argue with that point because I think it's real life.
Definitely. It's true.
I think it's great for the real me because we're talking about real life situations.
Exactly,
and I would, guarantee that there is a listener out there that is feeling exactly the same.
Definitely. Let's be honest. This definitely happens. Let's not shy away. This definitely happens. A lot of parents out there, you know who you are. And I'm joking, but it's a very, very difficult thing, and sometimes parents are wrong, but remember, hats off goes to those children who do that, and it's expected. I would expect you, or we would expect you to, if you agree, that you don't cut off any relation, or you say such words that would would hurt them for life. My mum always says this, that is when your words are like this, is that when you go to a shed and you get nails and you nail let's say 10 or 20 nails into the shed door, and then you take them out, they're out, but the holes are still left in there. And that's like words. Once you say it, you can say, you can apologize, but sometimes
quite goes back
it hurts,
the way it was.
But that also depends. Sometimes things are said in the moment of the heat. Heat of the moment, sorry. Moment of the heat.
That's going to be the hashtag for this week.
Moment of the heat. Moment of the heat.
That's quite true though as well, isn't it? In the moment of the heat.
Yeah. No one copy on me out there. That's mine, okay? I want to copyright that. Let's see how far I can get that with that moment of the heat.
That's right, yeah. Julie actually replied back. So we've got like a bit of a conversation going here, which is fantastic. This is what we want to see. So in reply to Brother Star Abdul's comment, she says, I totally agree, and I find it hard sometimes, especially if they've hurt people I love with their words. Greatly appreciate your comment though. Thank you. So that's nice. Given her an opportunity to really reflect on her own words. Definitely. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We've got a few extra watchers as well.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.
So we've got from Star Abdul. I was in the middle of watching a film, but I've put it on pause so I can listen to the show. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Keep it up. Wow, that's really good.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much.
Can you tell us which film you're watching?
Yeah, was it really bad?
Yeah, was it? Was it that bad? You had to tune into us.
If my brother's watching, it's probably that film that he chose one night, which I'll never forgive him for. It was called The Lobster Man from Mars, and I had to endure it for an hour and a half.
Really?
I've never forgiven him. We used to have like movie night, and every other week we'd choose, and when it wasn't my week, obviously I wasn't very happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he chose that film, and I've never forgotten it. Maybe it was that. Who knows?
We've got oh my gosh, we've got Brother Shazad Ali, thank you very much. Salam guys, always a great listen to. Just tuned in. He's gonna kick off it with the moment of the heat. Yeah, moment of the heat.
Moment of the heat.
Does that make sense? Moment of the heat.
I think it always does. There's depth to it, Abbas. It might not mean anything to anyone else, but there's depth to those that really are on this level.
Can I get as many likes as Rumi does? Rumi quotes are up and flying everywhere.
Yes.
Can I get like Abbas quotes and just philosophical?
What?
Philosophical, yeah. Yeah, that's actually something deep. So if you guys have caught into it, I actually said it purposely.
Yes.
So but heat of the moment, it happens. But let's say, for example, you said something to me and it really hurt me. Okay, that's gonna stick with me forever. But if I know that your nature is like that, then I will forgive you, because I know that I can't take it seriously. You're not that kind of person. Something must have happened. So you can kind of play around with that idea that you don't. It's not that you're gonna stick to these words forever, and you're like, I'm not gonna forgive you, and it's like like the sub moment, isn't it? # sub moment in the film.
Yes.
That. I'm not gonna forgive you, and crying. And
I mean, getting back to that kind of conversation that we had earlier, I actually wrote some notes earlier about this, and I have to share it because it was beautiful. It's actually a verse of the Quran from Al-Isra.
Okay.
Verse 24. And it talks about the lowering of the wings of submission and humility.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you've heard it before.
I think so, yeah.
But basically, it's kind of like in that moment that you're, at loggerheads, I guess, with an elder or with someone in your family.
Yeah.
In that moment, we're kind of like we birth this power within us, and we feel it rising in ourselves, and we're powerful in that moment.
Yeah.
And it's
especially within, let's say, parents and youngsters. That's the most common.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's an argument between a child and their parent. The child could be in their 20s or even in their teenager.
And
so let's use that. And this power comes
in
up.
both both generations,
but
isn't it?
Remember that also some children, they don't tell their parents anything. They don't tell them how they feel. Do you think it's wrong for children to tell their parents how they feel?
I don't think it's wrong. I think they should be able to have a conversation, but not necessarily can't have a conversation. Yeah.
And what if in that moment they say such things that the parents are like, wow, you know what, get out.
Yeah.
It happens, right?
Yeah. And I've had this conversation recently, actually.
And it does happen. And I think it's very, very important, whether it be verbally, or even if you can text it, if you don't have that kind of strength to kind of, tell your parents on a face-to-face basis. Text them. When you're at work or school or something, text them.
Yeah.
Let them reflect upon it.
Or go old-fashioned and write them a letter.
Yeah.
We've forgotten these little
tactics. But then they'll have to pay for postage.
They might live next door, like the other person that texted in. Just drop it through.
And Mum does, I got a letter. Who's this from? And like,
drop it. What's it like? Knock and run, isn't it? Put that through the door, read that, and run away. But no, as I was saying about the birthing of that power, we all feel that within us. We feel it rise, and it feels like anger, it feels like frustration, it feels like all these different emotions that are birthing. Though, absolutely.
What comes out, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, but we're kind of gifted with that in the moment. And that forces us to kind of slam the door in people's faces, or it forces us to kind of walk away in a huff, or hang up the phone if we're cross with people. And it's about it's that moment where we could birth these massive wings, with this power, and we could just take off.
Yes.
But actually it's about bringing that back down and being humble with it. And even though our parents may be being really disrespectful to us, that's how we feel in the moment. We feel, that we've got a right to have our say. It's just about bringing that power down and noticing that is there.
Yeah.
It's been gifted to us, but it can be misused in, so many ways.
Some children, I think, they also feel that they have to say it. If they say it now, otherwise they won't be able to say it later. But I think it's that child adjusting themselves to realize that this isn't the right moment. You're both angry. Don't say it right now.
Yes.
Say it afterwards. You can say it. You just have to push yourself to the courage. Encourage yourself and push yourself to the courage. Where did that come from?
It's another hashtag.
It's just, Brother Shahzad, please don't use that one against me.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because we all, most people feel like, we want a voice.
Yeah.
Especially with parents, we have our own life, we have our own thoughts, we have our own beliefs even sometimes. And there's this real passion inside to kind of want to do it our way. Our parents may have done it this way, and that was fine, and that was great, and it suited them at that time. But actually, we're in a different lifestyle. We're in a completely different age right now.
Both can get the thing done.
Absolutely, yeah.
But just different way, different timing.
But yeah, it's important we feel like we've got to have that voice. And I think even at the detriment of putting our relationships on the line, we will blurt things out because it kind of feels good to us to have our say and be, powerful in that moment, and to be in charge of ourselves in that moment. And actually, like you said, it's important to tame that power. Knowing that it's there and knowing that you could have a voice, but think about how you would do it in the right way. Because I think day to day, when we're dealing with other relationships in our lives, it's easier to be nice to other people.
Yes.
Like for example, your boss, you know, you don't want to get in trouble with your boss. So you would speak very carefully. You would watch what you said. You wouldn't say hurtful things in the moment because you'd be thinking, I'm going to lose my job here, you know, and I've got to put food on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're at school, you know, you might think, oh, I'll speak nicely to my teacher because I want to pass this exam. You know, I want to have help from that. Or friends even, you know, you don't want to say the wrong thing because you don't want to hurt them because they're your best friends and you want to spend time with them. So we choose, don't we?
But sometimes,
with our parents,
with
that
our parents,
kind of goes out the window sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, true. I don't think we should show our strength, like you said about the wings. It's really, because you know when you're young, you're strong.
Yes.
You've got energy. You've got that, you know, that oomph. You've got that fire inside you to fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
actually, the world is a much, you know, it's a very different place now than it was when our parents were young. You know, there's so many things that, especially the Muslim community, you know, there's so many things out there that we've got to face that weren't really around when our parents were young. You know, there's new challenges. And it's about being able to adapt to that. And being educated. You know, our parents need to be way more educated. You know, to be able to deal with the youth in the community.
Yes, definitely.
Understanding what the issues are, what's going on in the community.
That'd be really nice for communities in Peterborough to work upon what is open out there in schools.
Yes.
And what is open out in the community so that parents are aware.
Yeah, opportunities to bridge that gap because there seems to be a big gap, not just in our masjids when we go. There seems a huge gap. There's like elders, youth, nobody in the middle.
Exactly.
you know?
Definitely.
So we need to bridge that, but also, like you say, out in the community, having these opportunities where people are coming together, bridging that gap, and learning about each other's lives and what each other's challenges are.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know what? One thing I watched last week was very interesting. A young girl got a text message from a random guy saying, "Hey, I'm doing a bit of modelling near your house, around your area. Can you meet me in the park?" And it was actually an experiment, and the guy was doing an experiment to see whether that girl would go or not. She, I think, was maybe about 14, 15, and the parents were actually with this person. So the guy who was texting, who was doing an experiment, his parents were with them, and they were sitting in a van in the park. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I'll come over." He goes, "Okay, meet me at 4 o'clock in the park." And she came. She came with a short skirt and a blouse. She came in the park, and he said, "Oh, hey, you're right. Yeah, my name's this and this. I'm the one who texted you." Saying, and he said, "You know what? I want to take you to another place. Can you come with me?" And the parents at that time were like, "It's on YouTube," and they're like, "Oh no, please don't do it. Please don't do it." And she thought for a second, and she said, "Yeah, okay, let's go." And he took her to the van. And as he was about to open the door, that's when the queue came in for the parents to come. And the parents shocked her. And she was completely, you know, baffled. Like, oh my gosh, what's just happened over here? That's what happens with children. They're quite vulnerable. Because of the pressures in society, expectations to look a certain way. You know, the guys would be doing all their hair and the beards and everything, especially or whatever, or looking a certain way. You know, looking a bit stronger, fitter to impress their friends. Being better at sport to impress their friends at school. So that's always on their mind, running through the mind. And for girls, it's obviously different expectations, you know, within girls and that.
And not just young girls either, let's be fair. This is all ages. You know, we're all put in situations where we can feel something's not right within us, but we still say yes anyway. And I'm a massive advocate for this, for women especially, you know, because I think women have been put in situations over the years and generations where we kind of toe the line. Do you know what I mean? So we've said yes in situations because we've felt vulnerable, and there's no you know, education or knowledge and. So I think that's that's another topic we can go into
definitely. Inshallah. That is really nice. But I think the understanding between parents and children should be there. It's really, really important to work on it, because at the end of the day, you don't want to then be in a state of regret. Regret, as well as feeling that guilty feeling or thinking, I could have done this, I could have done that. Work on it now.
Yes.
Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And as I was saying before, I think communities in Peterborough should get together and maybe keep such an event or a workshop or something for the benefit of the community as well, to get parents involved.
We have to be really, you know, we have certain ways of doing things, like I said earlier, and we have expectations. We all do. But at some point, we have to kind of lower them. Yeah. And, the youth and the elders, and we have to lower our expectations, place everything down, and start from scratch and say, okay, talk to me.
Yes.
Just talk to me and tell me what you're going through. Tell me what it's like in your world. I want to know, I want to learn more. Yeah. It's difficult because people don't like change. It's a risk, because we've got to be vulnerable. We've got to put our hearts out there. We've got to maybe spend time with people that we're not used to spending time with. But I think, having those conversations is what is really important. And that's what can bring people together and bridge the gap.
Definitely.
Because it does happen. It does happen in the community. I see lovely, beautiful, blossoming relationships. I'm in one myself with an auntie in the community. Okay. Which is it's a very wonderful relationship, but very, bizarre. We wouldn't have met under any other circumstances. But alhamdulillah, we've been brought together to help each other, and it goes both ways for sure. Yeah. It's definitely not a one-way relationship. Yeah. But we learn about each other, about our different cultures, and we have a laugh together and share certain things in common. So, mashallah. Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. I think we can carry on this, inshallah, maybe next week or another time. We are coming to the end of the show. I just want to say thank you so much for all those who texted or WhatsApped in. It's really nice to hear your opinion and your feedback and your point of view. Thank you so much for that. And for all those who tuned in and shared your comments on Facebook, it is really nice. Join us next week, inshallah, myself and Michelle, for another show of The Real Me. Same time, next Monday, 7 p.m. Have a good evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Had a car accident or an accident at work? Accident specialists are experts in no-win, no-fee accident claims.